Well, we have reached the end of our class. It's always a little sad to say goodbye to another successful section of cultural anthropology. I want to thank each of you for your participation, and I hope that you have found the class interesting, informative, and helpful for whatever future career and educational goals that you might have. This week we have a rather light set of tasks. You just have to finish the critical essay, and I have moved the information from the essay folder to the week 6 folder, so you will find the instructions as well as the Dropbox now in the week 6 folder. As you finish up the class, I'd like for you to reflect on what you have learned over the past 5 weeks and a few days. Anthropology typically is understood to be the study of arcane and exotic peoples, but I hope that you have come to appreciate through the use of our book and the lectures and the films that anthropological knowledge and skills are useful in our everyday lives to help us comprehend some very serious social issues that we face on a regular basis. Certainly during the course of this class, we have seen many political issues and social cultural issues play out in the national level, such as ratification of gay marriage for all persons in the United States. And we should look back on the lectures and materials on gender and sexuality to help us see that while this has been a contentious issue in the United States, that certainly when we look at the span, the arc of human development, sexuality, marriage, kinship, and gender have been very, very fluid and conform to cultural as well as other conditions of a society. So while it may seem strange for some people in the United States to consider same-sex marriage, this is by no means a modern phenomenon or an unnatural phenomenon as far as humans are concerned. Likewise, we've seen a great deal of racial violence in the past few months in the United States. This indicates to us that problems of racism continue to plague our society and have very deep roots that require more than simply changing symbols such as the Confederate flag. We really need to examine on the national level and on the personal level our everyday participation in racial discourse. So I'm going to encourage each of you to really reflect on what you've learned about race, how anthropologists have helped to highlight that race has no biological basis, that we have a lot of different factors that distinguish us from one another, but these are really rather superficial environmental adaptations. However, these were made to be more politically salient due to historical conditions and by the actions of colonial powers. So that racism is something that continues to hamper the development of full equality for everyone in our nation due to a very deep and long history. There are many issues that we can examine through the anthropological lens, everything from terrorism to poverty to conflicts over resources and many, many other issues. So again, whatever your particular interest might be, I'm sure that you will find that in your own futures, you will find anthropology, at least thinking about it once in a while, will be to your benefit. I love everything about anthropology, and that's because anthropology is about everything about humans. I have a deep love of humanity and of all of our cultural expressions, and it is always so fun for me to think about how humans make meaning of our world, our nature, and I hope that we will be able to endure. So this is going to be my last soapbox for you. That one thing, of course, that we need to be concerned about is, of course, global climate change, local climate change. We have to be concerned about the overutilization of fossil fuels, as well as even the more minor things that we usually don't think about too much, who makes and produces the items that we utilize. If we think about where our goods come from, our food comes from, it should make us be concerned about the quality of our food and the kinds of labor conditions that go into the production of our various consumer items. I have put a easy survey for you to complete to give me an idea of what your thoughts are about the class and to solicit your recommendations for improvement. So I hope you'll help me out. I do take these things seriously. And I hope that I will see you again in another anthropology course. I also teach archaeology as well as physical anthropology. So consider those and have a great summer. I plan to spend the rest of the summer out in my garden. I am focusing this summer on drought-tolerant varieties of corn, beans, melons, squash, lots of tomatoes, of course, because who can resist a homegrown tomato? So have a safe rest of your summer, and we'll see you back in the fall. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.